Record on this computer.
Recording.
What was that? Oh, that was your bottle opener.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1.
Hey,
Hey.
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. You made it.
Yeah,
This is so awesome. All right. So we decided we'd cut right through the crap and get started with our episode.
good.
If you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Go.
Excellent.
Just we wanted to clarify one thing before we get going. Can you pronounce your last name for us?
Groener.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. We got it right.
I owe Rex $50.
No, you got it right. It's of course it's a German name. It would usually be spelled Groner with an umlaut over
right,
with the tut, which is an sound. And when we immigrated, my mother said, well, no one's going to be able to say that, but if you put the OE, which is actually the same sound, they'll just say Groener, and that works out. It works out just fine.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I figured that was too easy. I thought it because it was spelled like Matt Groening, that it would be pronounced Grainer. So
No.
but
I've
there
gotten
it
many
is.
different pronunciations of this name, so it's perfectly fine with me.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's do an intro.
All right. Well, we're just going to do a quick intro, and then we're going to introduce you, and we'll get right into it.
Go for it.
On you, Rex.
Hello. Welcome to Beer with Buffy. I'm Rex,
I'm Josh.
and today we have a special episode for you.
Oh my God, everybody. I'm bursting. I need a drink. I need a sip. We have an extra, you can hear him already. We have an
Yes.
extra special, super duper awesome guest for you today, guys, on Beer with Buffy. The man, the myth, the legend, the giant evil sneakity snake himself, Harry Groener, Mayor Richard Wilkins. That's right. You heard me correctly. So, Harry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So much for being here with us today. How much time actually do we have with you today?
I don't know. It can't be more than an hour. Because
okay.
we have my wife and we have lots of stuff to do today, so I got to get going. But it can't be more. If it can be shorter than that, be great. But if no more than that, I think.
Absolutely. I was planning on about half hour, 45 minutes, hour tops.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So, yeah, excellent. Oh my God, so excited. So Rex and I, we have this goal to interview all of the Buffy and Angel big bads eventually someday. It's like our bucket list, right? And so every great dream starts somewhere. And you, sir, Harry Groener, have the honor of getting the ball rolling for us. You may not be the first evil, but you're our first evil. And you can stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Who have you gotten so far? Who have you interviewed so far? Of
You're
the villain?
first.
Just you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're the one starting it off.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Which is why I'm literally shaking with excitement. So
I love that you're drinking beer.
it's
I
beer
do.
with Buffy.
Joshua, what beer are you drinking?
I am drinking Bell's Christmas Ale. Are you familiar with Bell's Brewery? They make Two-Hearted Ale.
I'm not, but I'm certainly familiar with Christmas ale. I'm certainly familiar with a lot of the ales and that came out that they come out during the holidays. So I'm certainly familiar with that, but not that in particular.
Okay, yeah, I just grabbed it because it's it's Christmassy and oh, it's also a Scotch ale, and I know the mayor liked Scotch. When
Rex,
we just sorry.
I'm sorry. What are you drinking, Rex?
I'm cheating and I'm drinking ginger beer.
Sometimes we like to keep our faculties about us so that we can, not slow down and get all mumbly during the episode. But we do have a tradition that you witnessed only moments ago on this podcast, and we all enjoy a tasty adult beverage, preferably one that makes a satisfying noise when you open it. So I can only assume that you've got some scotch laying around with a decanter fashioned from the skulls of your enemies.
I have a number of them, actually.
Or friends. We don't judge. No questions asked here at Beer with Buffy. That's fine. All right. Well, I'm not going to ask you to go off camera and grab it because, I kind of already picked one up today.
Yay. Oh, wow.
And I filled it with some scotch in honor of you and your role as the mayor on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Fabulous.
Rex and I are just going to have a quick toast with a little snifter of it. And I'll splash some on the screen for you. Hopefully it's strong enough that it gets through. Are you in LA?
I am in LA. Hey, when you get done with it, take some of that scotch, go outside, pour a little bit on the ground and say thank you to Anne Rice.
Oh, there we go.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
Say rest in peace, Anne Rice. God bless her.
Wait, Anne Rice passed away?
Yeah, she did.
I didn't hear that. When did that happen?
Well, I just saw it today, so I'm not sure. It was just very recent, either yesterday or today.
Oh, no.
But,
oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I really loved the Vampire Lestat. Wow.
I read all the books, man. I read all those books. I loved her writing.
Yeah, I reference her often, just because vampires and et cetera, yada.
Exactly.
Well, geez, and I had another skull joke, but I think I'm just going to pass that one right up. Harry Groener, real talk on so. So yeah, what are you doing now? Do you have any current projects or anything you'd like to shamelessly plug?
Well, what just recently happened is I'm going to be doing the. Do you know the play on Broadway called the Lehman Trilogy?
I've not heard of it. No.
Do you know this at all? Okay. Well, some of the people watching may know about it. The Lehman Trilogy is a play about the Lehman family. The Lehman stores that used to be here. I mean, it was huge family. And then I think it was in 2008, the economy just went, and the Lehmans went bust and everything, and all the banks and everything else. Remember that when it all went? Or you too young to remember that? But anyway, it's a
I just remember
play.
A lifetime of financial strife. Go on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a huge. I mean, so many banks were going down, and then Obama came in and he had to try to fix everything. But so many banks were going down, and the Lehman organization, that all just, did what it did. But this is a play written by Stefano Massini and adapted by Ben Powers and directed by Sam Mendes. And it's sort of a mini tour that will go to San Francisco, DC, and Chicago. And it's a 3-character play, and it goes from about mid 19th century to about 2008, and it follows this family. And awesome. It's that just happened, and we start rehearsals at the end of February, and then go to San Francisco, DC, and Chicago, and finish the 2nd of July, I think.
Oh, fantastic!
So that just happened. So I'll be doing that. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a wonderful play to do.
Yeah, I might look that up and try and get tickets.
Yeah,
look it up, because it's going to be where are you guys? Because it's going to come. It's in the Broadway company, of course, is working, but then they're going to come here to LA to the Amundsen.
We're in Michigan, so if you're going to Chicago, that would be where we'd want to hit.
Well, we'll be in Chicago. Look it up, and we'll be there for I think a couple of weeks. We'll be in Chicago at the Palace Theater.
Okay.
Will do.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's a very interesting piece of theater, and gives you a little bit of history of.
So this actually kind of brings me to one of the questions I definitely wanted to get in. Before the interview, I was looking at your IMDb page and your acting credits and all this, which, goodness me, you have a lot.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it, and I noticed that you haven't done anything film or TV since pre-pandemic,
That's right.
and you've mostly been doing stage work. Do you have? Is that your preference? Is
No,
I
stage
was
there
going to
really-
ask the same question. This is
Yeah,
neat.
there really isn't there was a preference when I started doing episodic television and all that, because it was so foreign to me. And I think the first episode I did of a series was an episode of Remington Steele. And when I got onto the set and started to work, it just felt so unfamiliar to me, and I felt very uncomfortable. And I said, I don't know that this is really what I'd like to do, because theater is my first love, of course.
Right.
But then the more I do it, the more comfortable you are, and the more it feels just like the theater, really, because I've done a lot of television now, and I've done a number of films. And when you go to the different studios and sound stages, you will run into people in the makeup department, costume shop, ADs, directors that you have worked with before. So it becomes very familial, and it was just like the theater. And many of these people have worked at different regional theaters as well. And so we have people in common. So the whole world just gets smaller and smaller, and it's all one thing. It's all theater, just in terms of television and film, just the medium is different, but it's all theater, and you go onto a soundstage and you go onto a set and you look at the set and it's beautiful and all that, but you go behind the set and it's all plywood and
Right, yeah.
it looks just like a theater set.
Right.
So
Something about
unless
that
you,
aesthetic that is so alluring to me. I don't know why. Just that
it's just
gritty.
fascinating. It's fascinating because Hollywood, man, you can do anything in Hollywood. I mean, they
Yeah.
really can do anything, right? They can make us see on that screen. They can make us see anything. They can create any world they want. And of course, now with computers, they can do absolutely anything. So
Right.
it's a fascinating world. But I do like working in the theater because it's so immediate and you have more control. Once that curtain is up, it's on you.
Right.
It isn't on an editor. It isn't
There's
on a
there's no pauses.
no, and you can't cut and do the scene again. You have to do it, and I really like that. But actually, during the pandemic, I got to do a small role, one scene in a limited series called White House Plumbers, and this is about a section of the Watergate episode.
Oh.
That whole thing with the Watergate. And I think Woody Harrelson is in it. Kathleen Turner is in it. Kathleen and I had a scene.
I've heard of that.
And it'll probably, they'll show it next year, I think. I did do an episode of 9/11 Lone Star, which is on Fox, and that's supposed to air in January. There are 2 episodes that were supposed to air in January, but not too much. You really couldn't. And for a while there, before I got vaccinated, I didn't want to go out anywhere. If an opportunity came up to travel or something before you got vaccinated, I said, no way. I'm not doing it. Right. I'm not going anywhere until I get the shot in my arm. And now but both my wife and I are triple vax. We got vaccinated and we have the booster. So I feel much more comfortable about having to travel.
Good.
Right.
Good.
You know,
I've got
so,
my booster coming up next week. I'm not
Oh,
looking
do it,
forward
man,
to it,
do
but
it.
I'm looking forward to having it,
Do it. And anyone listening, you've got to do this. You've got to take care of yourself and protect yourself and your family and your friends.
Seriously.
So-
You heard it from Harry Groener, everybody, and he's
It
not
really-
wrong.
It really is. You've really got to, and you'll feel more comfortable being out in public and going to maybe a restaurant or going to see
Yes.
your friends and all that. We were at a little Christmas gathering last night, and I love them. These are good people, very good friends. But before going into the house, they had a guy there, and you show your vaccination card, and they take your temperature.
Yep.
So
there's
that
an event
everyone
that we
in
go
the
to on a
house-
regular basis that does
Yeah,
that.
so that everyone in the house, you all know that everyone in the house is vaccinated. Now, they had an outside area, and we were outside most of the time. But still, I just love that they're doing that.
Oh, right. They can do that
You
in
know,
LA.
We were at in the afternoon yesterday, we were down at Disney Hall to see, to listen to the Master Chorale, sing Christmas carols. And it's just such a wonderful thing to do. And they're so brilliant, these people, but, at the Disney Hall. they check your vaccination card, check your ID, and they give you a little wristband so that you so that everybody knows that everybody's vaccinated in the theater. I think that's just brilliant.
Yeah, I had a horrible anxiety breakdown during the initial lockdown phase of like 3 months, and the vaccine really helped pull me out of it, just psychologically.
Right?
Yeah.
But obviously, because of the real safety net that it gives you, like even if you get a breakthrough case, you're still gonna probably have a less severe case.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not going to end up on a ventilator. You're not going to be in the emergency room. You may feel uncomfortable. You may feel like you have the flu a little bit, but no, it's everybody just got to get vaccinated. Also, get the country back on track again. We're still held back by the people who aren't getting vaccinated. We're still held back in terms of getting back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I'm so glad we agree on all this. This interview could have gone real sideways if we disagreed on that.
Oh man, right? Thank you very much. See you and good night.
And goodbye. Oh man, that was a real fear that I was having. Like, what if he hates us? What if he hates us, Rex?
No.
No, we know that the character of Mayor Wilkins would not like our podcast. We're way too vulgar for the mayor's tastes.
Yeah,
he's pretty conservative. You think he's a Republican?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Seems likely.
It seems likely to me too. But do you think he would have gotten vaccinated?
No,
he didn't need to. He was immortal.
Right, but before that, before he becomes immortal, before that, let's say he's just right at the very, very beginning, and he's on his journey, and this thing comes up. Would he get vaccinated with all his germ things, right? With all his phobias about germs? I think he would. I don't think
I was going to say, I think he personally would get vaccinated, but then tell everybody else that it's all a hoax.
Yeah. Like
I probably
some people we have heard of in the news.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to think about, actually, with him. Would he get vaccinated? It's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. And down the line here, I've definitely got a couple more character style questions. So I'm glad you seem up to the task. I know it's been like 20 years since you did the show, and I don't know how much people bug you about that. And obviously you don't hate it, or you might not have said yes to a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast.
No one bugs me about it. I love it. I was just at the beginning of November, I went to England to do a Buffy convention there.
Oh, nice.
And it was really wonderful. I love the fans. The fans are so great. The sci-fi fans, whether it's Buffy or whether it's Star Trek, whether it's any of the sci-fi fans are really wonderful. And I'm a sci-fi nut. And so we have all of this in common. And so I love the sci-fi shows. I love seeing them. I love, and Buffy, I watched it before I got the gig. So because I love the whole vampire myth.
Yeah.
And so I'm right with you. I'm right with you in terms of loving all the sci-fi and all the Buffy things and all that. I'm right there.
Excellent. That's great to hear because, I've always wanted to go to more conventions, but I'm always scared that it's just going to be a bunch of toxic elitist type people, because I do a lot of video gaming and that tends to be how the crowd plays.
No.
But it's really nice to hear that the in-person conventions are a lot cooler.
They're really cool, and because we all have the same thing in common, we all have the love of this particular story, and so everybody is really into it, and they're very respectful, and they're very there's no crazy people. Some people may like to dress up and do all that, and that's all fine, that's all good, but everybody is they're all just regular people that really enjoy this, and they come in for this convention, and they get their pictures taken, and they get autographs, and they get to spend some time with people who represented the characters that they really like on the screen. And so it's a joy. It really is a joy.
Yeah, and this is a joy.
Yeah, that's pretty much one of the answers to a question that you had.
Absolutely. I was going to say, because I know other podcasts at least one that I can think of, have interviewed a lot of the other core Scooby Gang. But as far as I know, we rarely ever hear from actors that have played less frequent, but arguably equally amazing roles from the Buffyverse. So I guess my question is, and this might just come off a little bit egotistical, but I have to know, were you surprised to get asked for an interview? Do you do these types of interviews often for podcasts?
I do. I've done a number of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I enjoy them. I like talking about Buffy. Buffy was one of the best experiences in television that I've had. And so, and the cast was terrific. Joss was amazing. And so I really lucked out. I said, this is really a great gig. And I'm the luckiest guy in the world when I got it. So I love it. And in fact, when the show finally ended, when the series finally ended, I was a little depressed, because not so much because of not being on it, but I wanted to know what happened to the kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wanted to know, well, now this is it, but what happens now? What happens to Buffy? What happens to Xander? What happens to all these people? I really wanted to continue the story. I wanted to know more about it. So I was sad that it was over.
Season 8 comic, right?
Huh?
Do you know about the season 8 comic? There's a
I know about a comic book. I haven't really seen. I'm not really into comic books, but I haven't.
They did a comic book called Season 8 that is a continuation of the story.
I find them hard to read as well. But there's more than just one more season. There's like tons of seasons.
Yeah,
in comic book
there's a
form
lot more. I don't remember how much
story.
more there is, but there's a comic that continues the story, so you can
Oh,
find
good.
out what happens with these characters.
But yeah, it would have been so much more fun to watch it in a TV film media.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, one of my questions was also going to be, obviously, Buffy is still extraordinarily popular today. Are you surprised that it's still this popular? Did you know or predict that Buffy was going to be something so special and long term that it would build this kind of a cult following?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I knew that it was popular. No one knows when you begin a series how popular it's going to become, or whether it's going to be successful or not. Right. No one really, they don't really know that. I'm very happy that it is. And in fact, it seems to be passed down from generation to generation. I'm meeting people in their, 40s and 50s who love Buffy and still love Buffy. And then I meet people in 12, 13, and 14 that are into Buffy. And so it's really, and that's a testament to the show itself and to the writing and to the story. It's a testament to the people who created it, that it transcends and it continues from generation to generation. That's really a good thing.
But I guess to rephrase my question ever so slightly, did you have a feeling about it? Did you feel like, I think this is something I'm going to be remembered for, something that's going to hold water for a long time to come? I know James Marsters has said things like that in interviews. Nicholas Brendan said something to that effect, but you didn't?
No, I didn't think it was going to. I thought it was going to be popular, and it might be, probably for a while, and there might be something, but I didn't know that it would last this long. I didn't have any feeling that it was going to last this long. That's sort of surprising to me, and I'm glad. I'm really happy that it is, because it keeps the show going, and I just think the show is so wonderful, and that more people are enjoying it is great. Is great.
So as far as you actually being on the show, your experiences with being on the show, one of the things I was really curious about, a lot of your time on screen is with Elijah Dushku.
Mm-hmm.
And the chemistry between your two characters is honestly the thing that makes that season. And that chemistry is what really makes your character just as good as it is. And I'm really curious how what was the chemistry like behind the camera?
Oh, well, she's a wonderful, wonderful actress and a wonderful person. We really got along very, very well, and loved doing those scenes. Oh my God, they're just great scenes. I got to tell you, when I got the script, for the when she's finally comes to him, and you get to the part where he opens the door and there she is, I went, oh my God, how
Yeah.
fabulous is this?
That
You
was
know?
a great moment.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. But as I'm reading it, because I didn't know if that was going to happen. And so as I'm reading it, I go, and then there's Faith, and you go, holy shit, man, this is great. No, we had a really wonderful time. But I really wanted to make clear to Joss, and I really wanted to, and both of us felt this way very, very clearly, that it had to be, very clear that this is a kind of a father-daughter kind of relationship. It's that kind of relationship. It cannot be in any way, and there cannot be any hint of any kind of sexuality or anything like that. That has got.
And we commented on that ad infinitum during our episodes when we were covering season 3, and we were like, "Thank God they didn't go there."
No. And I would really have had a problem if it did. Really, I would have had a problem. It can't be that, because he gets the daughter that he could never have, and devote himself to her and commit to her and love her the way he could love somebody. And she gets someone who gives her unconditional love, which she's never ever had before.
Mm-hmm.
I think, he accepts her for who she is unconditionally. There are no "I'll love you if," right? There's none of that. He just does it. And she,
unfortunate that he's so evil.
Right, but that's the one thing that humanizes the character. Because everything else that makes you so terrifying is how smiley and just, boy, I sure love, not Marmaduke. It was Mr. Trick that liked Marmaduke. What was it? You know what I mean?
Family Circus.
Family Circus. Yes, thank you. It's always an afterthought for the mayor about, oh, and sure, you can go handle those bad guys. Thanks.
But it also, and I talked to Joss and we talked about this. It also became his Achilles heel. She became his Achilles heel. She became the weakness, his weakness. I mean, he was immortal. You couldn't kill him. Blah blah blah. All this stuff, and he was going to take over the world or something. I don't know what he was going to do, but he was whatever. But she became his Achilles heel, and that's what eventually, and they learned that, and that's eventually how they destroyed him.
So as far as the mayor as a character, like how much of who the mayor was your direct doing, or just from the script, as far as like his tone and all that?
Well, a lot of it was very clear from the script itself. It really seemed to me to be very, very clear. And he was not overly threatening. He doesn't have to be overly threatening. That's the one thing about power. Once you have the power, and he eventually has, seemingly ultimate power, you don't really have to do anything. It's other people do things, right? You don't have to yell, you don't have to scream, you don't have to anything, because we know what someone with that kind of power can do. He can just go bam and you're dead. So we know, we understand that. So, and I understand that. And so that was really very, very clear. If there was ever a point in the playing of it where I started to get a little too evil, or if I started to go, you must pay the rent, whatever it is, and twirl my mustache, right? Yeah. If I ever started down that road, Joss would just say, throw it away. Just throw it away. Don't worry about it. So he was a good guide that way, but it's pretty much on the script. It's pretty much right there as far as I was concerned, was right there. It told you what to do. And I know how to, I'm very comfortable playing roles where there's a lot of, where the character has power. I've played in a lot of classical plays. I played kings, and I played, aristocracy, and I've played, there was a play at the Mark Taper Forum here in Los Angeles called Ghetto by Joshua Sobel. This is based on a true story and about the Vilna ghetto in Lithuania during World War II. And I played the SS officer in charge of the ghetto. Well, the SS officer in charge of that ghetto has ultimate power over all those people.
Yeah.
And he literally had the power of life and death. He literally did that. And he said, you're going to die and you're not. You're going to die. He literally did that. He was a real person, by the way. And I played that. And again, with that one, I didn't have to be evil. I didn't have to play evil. You just had to be who you were. And it was obvious that you're a Jew. And so you have to die. You know, it was just, it was just that kind of.
Never think that they're evil.
No, I mean, no. And the Nazis were incredible that way. They were very, very seductive. They were very smart in how they, many of them, how they did all that. A lot of times they're portrayed on television as, you know, it's just bad acting. It really is just bad acting. You know, I am the SS officer, and I am evil, and I am bad. You know, you don't have to do that. You have the power. You have the run of the country. Jesus Christ!
And it's always been that the villains that really get to us at our core are the villains who are just people that
understand power dynamics
any day.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And
no, that's absolutely right. No, you don't have to. A lot of the fans would say to me that one of the things that was really scary about him was the fact that he didn't have any horns and scales and teeth and, you know, and claws, and he wasn't a monster. He looked like your guy next door, just like a guy next door.
Your friend's dad.
Yeah.
It was just what was inside what was in his heart, was in his mind. That's what was the dark and the blackness and the evil was there.
Exactly. And in contrast to all of these traditional examples of power that you've brought up, one of my favorite movies that you were in recently, the Netflix special, A Feudal and Stupid Gesture, where you play Doug Kenny's dad. Even the whole movie revolves around the power that you have over your son. And it's so powerful, your hold over him, that he just has to have your approval, that he runs out and he creates the greatest comedy movie of all time and an extraordinarily successful magazine, and he just still doesn't have your approval. That's power.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
And it's crazy, but it's also just such a funny movie. Oh my God.
It is a good flick, isn't it? I had a really good time doing that. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
I love how you always see characters, or not characters, you always see comedy actors running in packs and flocks. Like usually when one pops up, you get 3 or 4 more in any particular movie. And I thought this movie was a great meta example of that, because it was about one of those original classic comedy troupes. You got Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, John Belushi, and it was really ultimately about the how it wasn't just about the creation of, I want to say Mad Magazine, not Mad Magazine, the National Lampoons, but how that spun off into Saturday Night Live, and Saturday Night Live spun off into 30 Rock, and you see all of these same actors just intertwined throughout the process, and it's really fascinating to me, especially because also the reason I thought of that is you're in that movie also. Mark Metcalf pops up, Seth Green is in there for a cameo, and you obviously had the biggest part, but and I was curious, did that happen because you all know each other, or was that purely coincidence?
No, really, a lot of the actors on the set I didn't know. I've met Martin Mull, I think I've met in auditions and things, but we don't really know each other. Seth I met on the set of Buffy. But I didn't really, know a lot of things. But actors are an interesting group of gypsies. We just sort of you latch onto each other. You don't have time. There's no time to nurture a relationship over many months or years or whatever it is. You have only a few days. If you're on a film set, you only have maybe a few days, maybe an hour or two, something to try to have some kind of relationship that you're going to bring to the scene. When you're doing theater, you have a few weeks of rehearsal, and then you're into the run. You have a very short time to get to know each other and get to trust each other. And so we've learned how to, there's a lot of breakdown of barriers. There's a lot, you just break all that crap down and just just be a real person so that you can get on with your work and get on with the play and get on with the scene. And some scenes could be very, very difficult to do and emotionally taxing. And so you have to trust the other actor to gain that trust is really, really important. And you have to do that. And most of the actors that I've worked with almost do that. It's just an unspoken thing. You come in, you go, hey, how are you? And I haven't met that person, but there's somebody, the longer you're in this business, the degrees of separation just shorten,
Well,
you just know,
makes
hey,
sense.
everybody knows everybody. And so you will have, we all will have friends in common. And so that's always a great way to get to know somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I used to do a lot of live community theater. I actually got my bachelor's degree in theater, and that is all just so true. I miss that so much.
Yeah.
And I had, work got in the way and I just haven't been able to get back to it, but it's just so good to hear that experience prevails still, and that it wasn't just me. And that it ascends all the way up to the professional level.
It does. It really, really
magical
does.
everywhere.
It really, really does. The percentage of true assholes in the theater. I mean, really, really, the percentage of them is so small. And this goes over to television and film as well. They really are so small. Most people are really nice. And those people that are that way would be that way no matter what profession they're in.
Yeah.
Right. They're just like that. They're just people that are not very nice. And I've only run into literally a handful maybe of people like that in my over 50 years of being in this business. And
with your filmography, like, I did a count between TV, film, and plays. You're up to more than 140 acting credits. And that's, that makes you pretty prolific.
Yeah, that's a very optimistic view of humanity.
Yeah. Do you know what your bacon number is?
My bacon? Did you say bacon number?
He did say bacon number.
Okay, so a bacon number is
2
for the game of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Let's just start with, have you ever been in a movie with Kevin Bacon?
No.
Well,
no.
So it's not 1.
No, your bacon number is 2.
You've never heard
what
the
that means
degrees of Kevin Bacon?
You are separated by 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon. So here, as an example. As an example, you were in Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks was in Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon.
There it is.
Got it.
So because the game is you name an actor and then you figure out how many degrees of separation they have from Kevin Bacon, and that decides your bacon number. And it's
got it.
You're golden for bacon numbers, because if you get any actor that you're trying to find their bacon number, it's easy to get to you, and then you have such a long list of films and shows and stuff that you've been in, that you've worked with so many actors, you're primed for the bacon number.
I can't believe you're having this conversation right now, Ray.
I love that. No, but it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
If you've ever wondered what people who are not professional actors do for fun, now you know.
Yeah. So if you ever get the chance to be in a film with Kevin Bacon, it will actually drop your bacon number to 1.
And that's gold. That's like
and that's
gold.
just winning.
That's all you need. Anything else you've ever done, Mayor included, doesn't even matter. Welcome to Beer with Buffy.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. We passed up a question that I wanted to ask as an add-on to your question earlier, Rex. So generally the consensus is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is just one big metaphor for the trials and tribulations of growing up, specifically as a teenage girl. Okay, maybe not specifically, but strong overtones. So what would you say that the Mayor represents in terms of Buffy's journey as the Slayer? But, if you cut out all the supernatural vampire occult stuff.
I don't think in those terms, so I have no idea how to answer that question.
Good.
I don't know.
It's completely literal.
I have no idea what he might represent in her life. Okay. I don't know. I can't think about that. I just go in, I try to think about what does the character want and what is he willing to do to get it. And that's all you really gotta figure out when you're doing a scene.
All right. Cool. Good to know. Yeah, because I had some sort of vague notion that I don't know, maybe his ascension because it happened on her graduation day, and now she's dealing with, before the mayor, the biggest asshole she had to put up with was, besides the master and yada yada, was Principal Snyder in terms of political authority figures. So I think it had something to do with that, but I'm not gonna bother trying to wax too philosophical about it.
No, let other people try to figure that stuff out.
Seriously.
Let them try to figure it out.
Definitely.
Man, I miss Principal Snyder.
Why'd
you have to eat Principal Snyder?
Why'd you do that, man?
Why did I eat him? And Armin is a dear friend, and so he was very tasty. So
that was my next question. Did he?
Yeah, no, Armin is a dear friend. Hey, do you? This is kind of interesting. I think it's kind of interesting.
I'm already interested.
In this scene, and the fans will know this. In the scene in the cafeteria when the mayor meets Buffy for the first time, where they all meet for the first time, and they have they have to make a trade of some kind, and they meet for the very first time.
I have another question about that scene. Well, maybe not that scene, but
at the beginning of the scene, you see him walking down the hall and then walking into the cafeteria.
Yeah.
In the hallway behind him is a pedestal. On the pedestal is a bust of the first principal, I think, of the school.
Flutie?
Is a Flutie? Yeah.
Well, he's
the first
principal
principal
from season 1 anyway.
Okay. Anyway, that's a bust. That could have been me because I auditioned for that role.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. I auditioned for that role, and thank God I didn't get it, but I auditioned for that role. So when I knew during the rehearsals of that scene, I walked by and I look at that guy and I go, I could have been you. I could have been me. I auditioned for that role.
I'm really happy you didn't get that role either. We were also going to, we're still going to try and interview Principal Flutie. I just really want to ask him what it was like to be eaten by hyenas.
Is that what he was? Was he eaten by hyena?
He was eaten by hyenas. Episode 4 or something, super early. It was a very short season.
I definitely would vote for turning into a snake and getting exploded over being eaten by hyenas.
Absolutely.
They showed me when we talked about it was only supposed to be an 8-episode arc for him, and it's because of the fans that it was extended as long as it was extended.
Right.
But at the very beginning, they made a model of the snake that it would turn into. The model was about, I don't know if you can see, it was about, let me see if I can do it. Model was about that big, that tall.
Okay.
And they showed it to me, and it's this little, plastic model of this snake. I said, that's really kind of cool. And he said, that's what you're going to be turned into eventually at the end of the series. I said, okay, terrific. But it was only supposed to be 8, and then the fans just made it longer. And then the very last episode, where he comes back and Faith they have that scene, that thing. That we have to thank my wife for, because this is absolute truth. We were in New York doing something, because at that time we lived both places, but we were there. We came back here. We were having breakfast at a coffee shop, and we found out at that point that Buffy would have its last season. It was into its last season. It wasn't going to be renewed. And she said to me, you should contact them because maybe they'll put you in an episode of the last season. I said, they're not gonna do that. And she literally said to me, don't be an asshole, give them a call.
Seriously.
So right then I called my agent and I said, okay, so they're doing the last season of Buffy. Do you think there's any interest in, putting the mayor in there? Will you give them a call and find out? Well, they were interested, and they wrote this scene. And it's all thanks to my wife, Dawn. I've told this at Buffy conventions, so some people will have heard this already. Yeah. But it's all because of her that last scene happened and was put in. It's all because of Dawn.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic. Yeah. And also, I'm glad to hear that even just the fans are so influential in how they play things out sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that. I would have expected they've got everything written out and I don't care what these assholes think. We have a schedule to stick to,
Yeah. And some people do, in fact, do that. No, it's only 8 episodes. That's all it's going to be, no matter what. Some people do that. But, Joss is a brilliant man, and the people putting the show together are very smart. They understand the demographics. They understand, and they will write to the characters that is very popular with the audience. And the mayor was. And so they added some episodes, thank God. And so I lucked out. I really lucked out.
Fantastic. Yeah, we all did.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for a couple of years now, almost. And it's all because it's a show we love, and we wanted to share that. And we have great fans that also want to share that, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah. A hard question. I kind of just wanted to get out of the way. Obviously, Joss Whedon deserves phenomenal respect artistically. He's done absolutely amazing things. But we were wondering, did you have anything to comment on regarding the multitude of actors, starting with Charisma Carpenter, that outed Joss Whedon on toxic behavior and harassment on the sets?
I actually don't, because I didn't experience any of that on when I was working there, so I don't know anything about their experience.
Yeah.
So I really can't say and shouldn't say anything, because I honestly don't know anything about it. I never saw any kind of behavior from him toward women that would support the accusations. The accusations might very well be true. I honestly don't know, and so I have to just sort of leave it at that. It's not my
That's
not my place to
100%
say.
fair. Definitely.
It isn't my place to say I don't know. I didn't see any of it. The way things are going in the world, if it's true, I'm not surprised.
Right.
That for anybody in power, not just Joss, but anybody in power that behaves that way. We've seen too much of it, I think, unfortunately, in the last, I don't know. We've just seen too much of it. That kind of behavior is reprehensible, and it should be called on. It should be outed and taken care of.
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, your experience is not the same as somebody else's experience, but I think that's all a very wise, enlightened take on it. So just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah,
it was on my list.
On a lighter note, okay, so this is a question I've literally always wanted to ask every single celebrity I've ever met, if I ever meet celebrities. And
so this is one.
Yes, this is one. You're the first celebrity I get to ask this to. I've always wanted to ask this to a celebrity. Who is your favorite actor?
Wow.
or
wow.
If that's a bit too broad, what's like the character in a film or something that you particularly love, or like watch over and over again, that just who's your favorite part, or maybe like a scene or something, just that always is like, it's in your head, highlighted, lives in your brain.
Okay, he gets it. Let the man answer.
Rex, that's a really, really hard question, because when I was a very young boy, the actor that I loved to watch in his movies was Steve McQueen. But I'm 10, 11, 12. I'm like that. So he was somebody that I just really loved, and could see his movies, and still to this day I could still see Great Escape. I could still see Magnificent Seven. I could still see a lot of his films. I just think he's an interesting guy, and but there were a lot of actors at that time that did a lot of those movies that are just, I don't know, they're just fun. It's like you can't not watch any of the Bourne movies, Once they're on, you click, you're stuck. Or the Godfather movies, you click them, and you're stuck. You got to watch, right?
It sounds like how we loved Jim Carrey growing up, but now we're like, he's kind of crazy.
Yeah, right, right. But I mean, there are so many wonderful men and women that are doing incredible work in television and film and in the theater that it's really, really hard to pinpoint it and say, well, that person is just the best. I can't do that. There are so many.
Yeah, great question, Rex. How many enemies can you make for yourself right now? Go.
No. I mean, and they're really, they're getting challenging roles in that medium, in television and film. Women in particular are getting some very, very challenging roles, and roles they might not have been cast in maybe 10 years, 15, 20 years ago, but they're really getting some fabulous role. And men, of course, have it a little easier, have always had it easier in this business. But they're getting really good, interesting. And the writing is just getting better. We're getting told really, really fabulous stories.
Yeah.
There's really good stuff on television. You could spend your entire day just watching one fabulous show after another. And I think it's just very exciting. It's just so much product out there, so much work out there that's really, really excellent. And so that's exciting to me. But Rex, I can't answer your question.
And that's fair. I didn't expect a like, oh, it's definitely this person. But I just always wanted to ask that.
Well, and you might get the same answer from a lot of actors, although they say, well, I like so-and-so, I like so-and-so, I like so-and-so. There's just so many.
All right. Well,
so many.
I have a completely ridiculous question that I can't help myself. So when I think of Mayor Richard Wilkins, the first image that pops into my head is just burned into my retinas is when you ate that huge black crab creature, which we lovingly refer to as scuttlebutt bugs on our episodes about that. And I'm just curious, how did you film that? Because all I can think of is that giant black crab leg going all the way into your mouth. Were you miming that, or did you actually have something to eat? Clearly, it was some sort of CG, I think.
No. What happened was it wasn't CG. What happens is that the prop master comes to you and says, "We're going to make this spider, and what can you eat Tootsie Rolls? You know what a Tootsie Roll is?"
Of course.
Okay. Can you eat Tootsie Rolls? I said, yeah. So he molded the leg that I was to eat from a Tootsie Roll, and then did food coloring to make it black. So I'm actually eating something. It isn't CGI. I'm actually eating something. Now the problem is that if you've ever eaten a Tootsie Roll, it takes a long time to eat a Tootsie Roll.
That was my first concern.
Right? So you will see me with a napkin, as if I'm wiping my mouth, having eaten it. But what I'm actually doing is, because you have to get on with the scene, right? Is spitting it out and putting it. And so I'm eating it, then I spit it out and put it on the thing so we can continue the scene. But it's a Tootsie Roll. It's a Tootsie Roll.
Nice.
Cool.
I like that.
I'll never think of Tootsie Rolls the same ever again.
Eat them to become invulnerable. That's what it is.
Exactly. Those things always reminded me of head crabs from Half-Life 2. You're probably not a huge video game person, are you?
I'm not, no.
Okay, well then we'll just move on from that.
I mean, I'm pretty much out of questions at this.
Yeah,
at this
crap.
stage.
I'm kind of out of questions too.
And we're getting to be about nearly 50 minutes.
Getting pretty close to the end here. All right. Just as a stinger, do you have anything highly inappropriate or marginally offensive you'd like to say to Josh and Rex of Beer with Buffy and its listeners? I mean, it's how we bond. I know kids are crazy these days. Not that I would know since I haven't been one for about 20 years, but I digress. How would you like to leave this? I'm going to leave this in your capable hands, Harry Groener.
I will not say anything offensive. There's no reason to say anything offensive. You guys were great. I had a lovely time talking to you.
that.
See, I have a lovely time talking to you. I want everyone to enjoy their holidays, but I want most importantly, I want everyone to get vaccinated.
Yes.
So, but everyone enjoy your holidays. Be smart. Be safe. Take care of your families. Take care of your friends. Wear a mask. And just and I hope Santa brings you everything you want.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so freaking much for
Oh, you're so
doing this.
welcome, Joshua.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you, and I wish you and your wife Dawn all the best. And
Thank you.
maybe we can meet you in person someday at
That'd be great.
at
That'd
one
be
of those,
great.
convention things, or we might come and see your show.
Cool.
This has been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm
for
really
your
glad.
time
Thank you,
and
Joshua.
putting
Thank
up
you,
with our
Rex.
shenanigans.
Oh, you guys are great. No. It's fun. We're all on the same page. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about Buffy. I love talking about any of the sci-fi stuff. It's just heaven.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was heaven
thank you
for
for your
me
time.
as well.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, we'll let you go then. Have a
Thank
good
you
rest
very
of your
much.
day.
You
Thank
take
you.
care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye now. We did it, Rex.
Yeah.
We
Damn,
just-
that was
We just interviewed Harry Groener,
yeah.
and I think it went swimmingly.
Yeah, I think we're professionals now.
You're still recording, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
We're professionals. now.
yeah, we're.
Like that.
I was going to
we've
say we're
made
not
it.
getting paid for this. We are kind of getting.
We've
paid for
officially
this.
made it. We've made it.
Yeah,
Like that. Item on the bucket list. Done.
There it is.
There we go.
success. Ding. Not so much cha-ching, but ding.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
No, that was awesome.
that
That was awesome.
too much fun. Like actually,
Yeah.
whew, I was so nervous about that.
You know, I was nervous till we started.
Right? Oh
That-
yeah.
That's just how I operate.
Well,
though.
that's how adrenaline works. Like I was
Yes.
literally shaking, but I knew that after about 10,
yeah, I
15
saw
minutes.
you when you're pouring the alcohol.
Oh my God. Clatter, clatter, clatter. You may or may not hear that. Hey, you're still recording, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I spent so much money on this fucking skull, guys. You know, we might. I don't know if we can auction or raffle that off or something to our listeners.
I don't know.
I don't know if it would be a great thing to mail because it's glass.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can pack it really well and put a fragile sticker on it, and as long as like
But I don't even know if it showed up on the video.
it did. It
Okay,
did.
you saw it.
Yeah.
Because half of that interview, I had my my Zoom screen minimized so that I could read my notes.
Right.
Um.
No,
Anyway,
I think that was great. That was a lot of fun. Damn.
yeah. So
that-
Merry Christmas, everybody! This is your extra big special super duper bonus episode of Beer with Buffy.
Yeah, we could actually release this for Christmas.
I was thinking about that.
You know,
I think we should release our previous episode. I'm not even going to edit this. Fuck it. Our previous episode on the 20th, like we had planned, and then release this also on Christmas.
yeah. So
Because
dear fans,
we've been gone like 3 months.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah. Merry fucking Christmas to you. Do we want to do a traditional outro? Hey, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
We should
Follow
we
us on
should.
Twitter. Doop-a-doop-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da. You can always email us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. If you want to buy some of our stupid shit with our logo on it that's not so stupid, go to beerwithbuffy.com/shop. You might want to put a www on the beginning of that, but I don't think it matters. If you'd like to support us, you can go to patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. We have a cat naming perk. And I don't know, we might start up a special content, Patreon specific content thing, just so that you can watch the video of that interview. Because
yeah,
I think that'd be
think-
neat.
Actually, no. We will
And you
release.
can see how shaky I was for the first 20 minutes.
If you want to actually see the video of this interview that we recorded of our Zoom meeting with Harry, that will be for all Patreon supporters
Yeah,
to watch.
I didn't know he was going to do video, but I'm really
Yeah.
glad he did video.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Anyway, don't forget to review us on iTunes. We still have a review drive going on. We are going to give somebody a free Beer with Buffy hoodie. All you have to do is review us on iTunes and actually write a review with a name that we can track you down at.
Yes.
So You can also, anytime you want to, give us a voicemail at 269-743-0783. You can text us at that phone number. As always, a huge shout out to JJ Treadway for our opening, closing, and transitional music. This has been Beer with fucking Buffy.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
I'm Rex, and that was Harry Groener.
Harry Groener, motherfuckers!
Have a Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas! I think that's a South Park reference. I don't even know it.